So, yesterday was, I believe, the 7-year anniversary that this game had been released. So, happy birthday to this game. It's a small game. It's about an hour and a half or so, 2 hours, just depending on how... I've already played it before, so how quick you go. I thought I'd do it again because why not? I needed a filler stream. I had already promised to do this again for a filler stream, and I thought I'd do a real quick one. And yeah, just get through this game. I enjoy it. It's a good game, and it's a good story. It's shorter than a lot of movies. We'll get through this. Hope you guys are having a wonderful moment of existence. Welcome aboard the Sleight Train Digital People. How are you doing? This is a beautiful little card. I try to find something to fit kind of the vibe of this game. It's upside down. So these are Theory 11. The case is so good. It's so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. It's embossed and everything. Alright, let's jump in. We're going to start a brand new game. Hopefully it's smooth sailing. Enjoy. I've already played this before on stream. I think it was my first year streaming. It was pretty early on. So, for quality purposes, I guess you could say, we're going to do it again. It's all nice now. We got a camera. So in case you haven't figured it out, we are Edith Finch. Headed home. Let's begin.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
This is easily one of the coolest houses of all time. I'm a big time fan of old...
Someone had put up a chain link fence, but it looked like I wasn't the first person to hop it.
She hopped this fence. I like old houses that have secret compartments and all that kind of stuff.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Hello to those of you on YouTube. Beautiful. Look at this property. Look at this property. It's the house way over there. It looks like something out of Dr. Seuss. Oh.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
7 years ago.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
See how the letters just crumble? Somebody spilt their alphabet soup. I like it.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know.
Hey, Lily.
Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
So, this is just an alternate route to take. We'll go the main road. They both lead to the same place.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
I don't believe there's any running in this game. It's just walking. Oh. Dear. Hey, baby. Alphagetti? Ooh.
The truth is, Even after I inherited the house,
Oh, no one's
I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
So we inherited this amazing and safely built structure. Look at how high that goes. That is my streaming room up there, just so you know, or the basement.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh, I never noticed that back there. Let's go check it out. I've never noticed this before. What is this? Why is this? So they got a little pond, little froggy boos.
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond.
Aha.
She said it had killed her husband. I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me, even then.
Well, I don't know how many of you guys actually live in a place like this. Not the house. If you do, I'm coming over. I mean, just, you know, out in the wilderness. It's gorgeous. It's honestly paradise. Except for the spiders.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Cleaning this would not happen, which is why it's going to look like it does when we get inside.
As a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Is it dark for you guys? No, it looks like you can see it. Just want to make sure. I can turn the brightness up.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Uh-huh.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
So the controls are very much like Layers of Fear and that sort of thing gone home. Sometimes you have to really figure out when you're moving the joystick forward and back and just little things like that. Sometimes you'll see me kind of get stuck on something because I'm not pulling back enough or whatever. You could look at this. Peepholes. Okay, let's go in. But oh yeah, me too.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
No, we're not 11 anymore. Oh, you can spray mint? I didn't know that. Interesting. So mint keeps spiders away. I have a new appreciation for mint. I'm gonna eat mint ice cream and brush my teeth all the time, 5 times a day. It'd be amazing.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
I remember a clip I have here. I'm gonna keep the clip from the original. I remember though.
For the first time in years.
That's pretty funny.
I felt like I was home.
And the VOD did get muted. So there's a section on YouTube I think that doesn't even have sound. So we're fixing that.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
Hey, that's fine. Love Chinese. So she inherited this house, and she is now
Or how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got
reminiscing.
sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Hopping the fence. Took a boat. Hop the fence. We're here. It is pretty dark in here, so just bear with. It gets brighter.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
Not florals.
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. Nothing in the house looked abnormal.
Beautiful.
There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
The descriptions I never really noticed before, like a smile with too many teeth, right? That's off. Too much of it. So yeah,
Even
nothing really
the
seemed...
fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house after it sank.
Very interesting. Yeah, it's just the... That's what I've tried to say about some old ladies' houses. You go in there and it's not necessarily dirty or messy. It's just a lot. Like if you go to an antique store or something or whatever, they have the tight little aisles and everything's next to you. You don't want to touch anything because your elbow's gonna bump something, you're gonna break it, and you think they do it intentionally to get you to buy stuff. It's one of those places. That's what I think that some old people's houses are like. It's just stuff. Just a lifetime's worth of stuff they've collected. And it's not messy, it's not dirty stuff. It's just so much. There's like no bare space.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Mama said stay out of the basement. We're going in. Okay. That later. This is the door that was locked.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
They have a brother that went missing. Yeah, see all these
After
books?
Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Very strange situation. Look at this hallway. Look at these doors. Calvin.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
You heard that right.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
Yeah, I know you were telling me about Unfinished Swan. Yeah, I love the personalized doors. It's really cool. Oh, there's Edie.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Okay. I have another one over here.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Child star. Look at that.
Mom must have locked the 3rd floor stairs on the night we left. Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
1944 through 1960. Better hope these are all move-out dates. Betty's gone. Look in here. Molly.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
There it is. Wow. What a strange situation. You know, you talk about, like, I hope nobody's died in this house. Well, what about this house, huh?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
This is
I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Her mom. Her mom kind of lost it, understandably. Might be the house that sank. Actually, it is the house that sank.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Okay. Open sesame. Check this out.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
Yeah.
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
So one of the things I really like is how the words for the story, because there's no subtitle option, they just show up in different places around what you're looking at, and they just kind of vanish. I think that's really creative.
On the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
It's a simple idea, but it's nice.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
I wish I could see. Oh, I can't. I can zoom in. That's adorable. Oh, so she made a miniature of her room inside the drawer.
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
That's cool. Imagine if the miniature had the drawer open up and there was a miniature in there and just, you know, went on forever until it was microscopic. So this is Molly's bed. A tentacular stuffy. A journal. Molly Finch. Here we go.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Right. So now we're looking around for something to eat. December 1947. I say this looks pretty tasty.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
There's poop in there. Oh.
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Ooh, an accent. Look at how short we are. Toilet's all tall. Just a little girl. Look at how tall the sink is.
I kept eating and eating.
Whoa. Talk about mint, huh?
I ate a lot of things that night. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
Bitch didn't expect that. I remember when I saw that, I was like, oh, she's gonna die because she's eating stuff she shouldn't be eating. Oh wait, she's gonna die because she's gonna fall out the window. Now I don't know what's going on.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Oh, we're purring. I'm gonna get that bird. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get that bird.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Oh, I didn't even notice that Mom and Dad were right there. What's up, guys? Bet you didn't expect this, huh? Where am I going? Come on, come on, you can do it. Oof, oof, oof. Good thing I can't really fall off. It's invisible walls, you know? Come on. Hey! What's going on? You better jump. It's very finicky about the jumps.
I jumped and I almost got her.
That cat is growling. It's not happy. Whoa, 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 hey. Hold up a minute. Come on.
I could tell she was getting really tired.
Just went through that truck.
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
Come on. Ugh.
I gobbled her up,
Oh!
and suddenly,
Bullseye.
I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Ooh, look at this. I accidentally sounded like an owl right there. Ooh, oh, can I? Can I? Ah. Thought maybe. I thought maybe. Got one.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit.
Apparently not.
Then I flew off to find something bigger.
That's how I eat. What's chewing?
A mama rabbit.
So this already gets a bonus point for just the random story.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating.
I know my face is covering the words there.
Suddenly, I was a shark.
Never fails to make me laugh. Watching this shark go down this hill. Careful! Oh.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Wonder what happens if I just... Oh, I see. You can just pick one out. Aha. Oh, that is perfect.
I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Mmm. Definitely violent for this little girl. Oh my gosh. Oh.
I grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
So I can actually move this tentacle and then press the right trigger to get the camera to catch up. Christmas music. I know there's some of you that don't like Christmas, but it brings such... Just hearing this brings a nostalgic comfort like nothing else. I really do love the holiday season. Brings me back to a time...
But I moved real quiet.
Real nice time in my life. Christmases are always pretty special to me. I say as I violently eat a man with my tentacle.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
I know the feeling, girly.
Belly over the
This is the guy that's singing. I don't think I can eat him. You know what I realized? I think that bird was kind of guiding us which way to go this whole time. I didn't even think about it. That's cool.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
I can whip the pipe. Oh. New fear unlocked, huh? Having a giant squid or octopus tentacle come up through the toilet. Oh. So I didn't rate this game back then. I went back on the YouTube descriptions and I rated all the games because I started doing the rate system way later, but I have it pulled up and ready to go.
All of my stomach started growling.
We'll rate the game at the end.
And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
That is it. It's the last we hear of old Molly. The game is over when we fill all this in.
I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Onwards. You don't have to do these stories in order either. So it's kind of as you come upon them. There's the cat. So obviously the girl had a great imagination.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Great-Grandma Edie's room.
We got along, and it was a good place to hide
This is
from my
definitely her
mom.
room. Hide from her mom, so she didn't seem to have a good relationship with her mom.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Oh.
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed.
No, it's much more fun to say the other one.
Even in her 90s.
Wow.
Sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
We will do that afterwards. That is the bathroom. Pills. Definitely an old lady bed. Oxygen tank. Hey, I like how... I just now saw that. How dumb. So look at the way that... I love it. I think that's super creative. So it shows the house, I believe. The forest. And the birds. But then it's actually not a real painting hanging on a wall. It's a painting on a wall. And then a fake frame and the birds are coming out. That's awesome. That is awesome. I'm going to do that. I'm going to remove all the things I have hanging up. You guys ever built like little models or put together little dollhouses and stuff? I think that would be cool. I've never done so, but I would like to. I like working with little teeny tiny projects, you know? You have to keep your hands steady and everything. Okay, so here's the next one in the family tree.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son.
Ingeborg.
On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
That's cool.
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
Think about that for a second. The new family cemetery. What a sentence.
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Okay. There goes that one.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Yes. It looks like he wrote books. Very cool. The peephole. Oh no, I see. That's the other side of the peephole. Norwegian folk tales. So just look at the detail in these rooms. Like, I can probably get screenshots of all this stuff. It's really nice. I could probably look it up online. It's easier. But some of these could be wallpapers. I actually have a wallpaper I'm going to use for my desktop that I'll show you guys when I get to it. Of a shot in this game.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
It's very pink. Wait till you see
It was a pretty
secret
big trace.
apartment. Stand on the toilet. It's not safe. Secret in the bathroom.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Yeah. Yeah. I absolutely love it. It's the coolest
Sven
thing
gave
ever.
Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
It's awesome. Well, through here we go. What a strange little... It's like the... You ever heard of the Winchester Mystery House? Very famous place here in California, and it doesn't make sense. Long story short, the lady kind of probably was going crazy, and she just kept adding to the house, and it just... Some of it, there's stairs that lead to nowhere, doors that don't open to anything. Kind of like this house. Like, yeah, she's in a new area. But why? It's just so strangely built and laid out. Okay, so this is the room that... Sharing a room with his dead brother.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
Let's go see. See, another one right here. Look at that wallpaper, man. It's beautiful little rooms.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
They're really nice. It's really pretty the way they drew it out and laid it out. I like it. It's so sad.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch.
All these little
The thing I remember
shrines.
is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Okay, I have to move my legs, each joystick.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly. But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible.
I'd always imagined doing that as a kid.
Maybe
Never
if
did
I
it
hadn't
though.
said that.
Ooh.
Yes! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up.
Maybe if we're not on the edge of a cliff. Very bad idea.
And maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd
go.
already made up his mind.
Here we go. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Oh.
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Yes. Yes.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Right. And now we understand he's not really sharing a room with his actual current dead brother. It's more of a
After the funeral, Edie roped
metaphor.
off Calvin's half of the room.
so sad. These stories, it's poetic little tales to describe how
Mom
everyone
said
died.
Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
I can't get over how cool that is. All these things in this house, man. There you go.
The passages
Very
were a
dark.
pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
This is my favorite one. I like this one. It's just so it's different from the rest of them. I have two that are tied.
I never
Fun
thought
room, huh?
about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
It's a good. Oh, right there. Look at that. Look at that. Great picture. Sitting here like trying to capture desktop images. I don't know why. I just like the way it's their perfect little shots, you know? I think. Okay, let's get into this one. This is my favorite one.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
Puberty did not help her scream, I guess, huh?
Basement.
Somehow.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages.
Mmm.
There's a key hidden in the music
Me
box.
too.
The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Probably one of those moments we'd get muted. But I am recording it, so.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Oh, yeah. Whoops. I got this, I promise. Get out of my way.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Hmm. It definitely does suck seeing your father's just blood everywhere. Happened to me before.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Can I charge it up? Nope.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and
Does that sound furious?
confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Still walking around with our little crutch weapon? I say we're using our weapon as a crutch. Not a good sign. I almost stepped right on it. It'd be funny if you could die doing that.
Walter, are you there?
Walter vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hookman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
This is very unique. I think it's cool. Oh, there we go. Oops. Wrong button.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
If only comic books can move like this, huh? That'd be really cool. Probably digital ones, I would imagine, that do that. Wait. Come this way.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Do I knock these books down? New.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
I'm kind of thinking about the music right now. Like, it's probably... we'll deal with it later.
At the door, she heard whispering.
There we go.
It was coming from inside the house.
Incoming.
Oh dear.
The monsters
Thank you, thank
come
you.
to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be...
Incoming.
And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans.
Are you Irish?
Plus, the
Is your
police
name
blamed it
Jack
all on poor
O'Lantern?
Rick, who disappeared the same night.
Thank you.
And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear.
So they
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Oh. That's me with wordplay. So they suspected. I mean, I would say it's the boyfriend. It's kind of up to you to decide. Can you imagine? Dad gets his hand all busted up, goes to the hospital, comes back, and his daughter's...
Told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
That was pretty absurd. Very, very interesting. Moving on, we've got a few more to do. Five
I guess
more?
now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Okay. Now we are going... Hello.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
Very dark. Now we're gonna go downstairs to the basement. I'm gonna install one of these just because. They take forever. Remember the one in Gremlins? You guys ever seen Gremlins? It just shoots up, goes out the window. I think it was on nitrous. Turbo boost. Okay, keep winding. In here. Don't mind the darkness. It's dark for a little bit. There we go. Another cool shot. It's the lighting, really. I was gonna give this a 3 on the video, but that's dumb. I'll give it a 4.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
Very dark. Go.
I thought maybe she was hiding presents. Turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Like a
I
whole
remember asking Mom once
tunnel
about where Walter had gone.
goes to Mexico.
She said after Barbara died, he
Can't
got
see.
as far away as he could.
You know, true stories. They've found tunnels sometimes that have led like from the bottom of a KFC or something to some other state, or you know, it's crazy. This is super cool. I don't know how long that takes to do, like Breaking Bad level
all
stuff.
These stories.
I could eat peanut butter straight out of the jar.
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Take it back. This is my streaming room. Walter.
Goodbye, everyone.
He's an
I can't
adult
believe
now.
I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
Little Walter, hiding under the bed, is now a man.
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane.
1968.
Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
70s.
But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal.
This reminds me of Lost.
Almost friendly.
Down in the hatch, you know? Just living down there. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about, Lily.
And then one day,
We'll get there.
everything just stopped.
Another thing, the music obviously changes per
Whatever
decade.
that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
Yeah, 30 years. I'd be tired after 1 year.
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting.
You
I
know,
have to leave. Well, I still can.
There's so many times where I've complained about how people... I don't want to move because they're going to keep talking. How people... They have a trauma from a long time ago and then they let it affect them. But it's okay, it's understandable, but once a decade or 2 decades, 3 decades go by, and you realize this person's hanging on to stuff from that long. Like, this guy has been down here for 30 years. Oh, I guess I got tired of being afraid after 30 years. Well, yeah. Come on, man. That's a long-ass time. You just wasted your whole damn life. Whole life. Just being afraid. And it's not a generalized fear. He's just afraid of the one thing. In this case, he's living down here for 30 years. I mean, hey, if you got an endless supply of food, I suppose, there's an introvert's, holy heaven down here. What
I
does
know
that
it's
say?
out there somewhere.
Jiggly Farms. Like, I wouldn't mind living down here for a year or two, at the most. I'd start to go crazy.
Whatever killed
30
Barbara
years is amazing to think about.
and Molly and Calvin.
He's just afraid of the curse, I guess. Which makes sense. But, like, I don't know how much you can have a serial killer after me. You can have... I can be living in dinosaur land, you know, Jurassic Park style. I wouldn't, well, maybe in that case. But I would still come out sometimes, you know, to gather supplies or like, I can't imagine just being stuck underground, never seeing the light of day forever. That's crazy. So down here is where all the stuff was dumped. Garbage and stuff. That's nuts. So, all right, let's get out of here.
Maybe this is all a mistake.
Yeah, 30 years, I'd say.
But I need to stop living the same day. Even if it kills me.
Yeah. Yeah. Age spots on his hands. Gather T-Rex's pee, exactly.
Whatever's out there, I want you to know.
Yes.
I'm ready for it.
All right. We're ready.
I'm going to appreciate all of it.
We have our whole life ahead of us.
Food.
We're ready.
I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Oh, what a heartwarming tragedy. He sees the sun, he gets out, and
Walter died when I was 6.
He died blissful.
I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
You think that's what Edie was referring to? The monster, the mole monster or whatever? And I think it was... They were saying there's like a mole on his face, right? Some alien mole. But I think maybe a mole like underground. And it just kind of became a far-fetched tale. I think just because...
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
He lived down here. I think there's some truth to all these stories. That's kind of the point. Bob Ross down here. It's been on the whole time? It's awful. Alright, we're gonna go see. So obviously there was a train that went by, and that's what that rattling was that always bothered him. He was afraid of.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house...
This is under the house now.
I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
It's wild. Brown rice. Surprised, you know, something like this.
I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
Working at a brewery, like, having things out like this, usually rodents would get to it. Eventually.
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself.
The last of the Mohicans.
Found out what happened to everyone else. But now
Yeah.
I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
You know, there's some truth to that. It's like the placebo effect, sort of. You believe something so strongly that you kind of manifest it. That would be Ye Old House, the original.
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
Yes, you should. It'll be a game one day.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
So the actual house is
But
up
I
here.
thought you should know about your family.
She's writing this for someone.
And the history you're a part of.
They obviously had built them and then tore them down. I think the train tracks had probably Because remember, there was a house before it sank, and so maybe the tides... I'm not sure. Maybe there's a hurricane. But obviously the tracks went out this way somewhere. Probably wrapped around the land.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
So if you haven't figured out who she's talking to, it's not really a spoiler. She said
I think the people in these stories believed them.
She said
for what that's
she's
worth.
the last one, and then she said, well, maybe two. And then she said, she keeps saying, like, talking to somebody as if it's another family member. You probably have figured it out by now. Okay, all these lights turn on. Nothing. Going up those stairs. Just curious. Nothing? Nothing to say? Well. One last glance before we say goodbye. Okay, we're gonna go up to the last few parts and wrap this game up. It's that short. 1, 2, 3. I want to say there's 4 more left. I think 3 or 4.
When you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
If I'm not mistaken, that was the front of the house before. So we came out of the basement, walked around there, I think. Oh no, we're on a different side of the house. Never mind. On the back side of the house. This was where we were. So the front's over there. This is the back of the house over here. Okay. Got it. At least it's bright enough for you guys. I can't see jack.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
That's what I was saying. Family cemetery. Very strange.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Derpy, Derpy Jr., Burpy, Chirpy, Furpy, Lurpy, and Zerpy. You don't have to be creative with pet names. You just pick the first one and just keep going. Apples and bananas, right?
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
One of the... Ah, there it is. I was going to say, one of these has a cool little thingy. Look at that. Alright. It's creepy, man.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea.
No offense to my family members. I wouldn't want your guys'
but for
bodies buried in my house. I wouldn't.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Look at this. Look at this view. Oh, how much do you think this house goes for? How much do you think you can buy it for on Amazon? Jeez.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now...
Back to Catland. Right? That would be... Yep. What's down here? Nothing? Nothing. Oh. Oh no, nothing. Okay. This is the way we go. I thought I found a new way.
If she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
There it is. There it is. Alright, should have figured it out by now. We are talking to our little baby. She's been hopping the fence, and climbing and crawling.
Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
What a house to inherit, huh? I mean, if you're the only one left alive in your family, those are worth it.
They were both pretty intense.
Nobody's left. Make some new friends. Live here with the baby.
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
This house literally is frozen in time. Okay, so we have 4 left. Do Sam's.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it?
I see you.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Ooh. That's a good one.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who... Dad!
You guys, Dawn.
That's a good picture. Thank you. I'm amazing at taking pictures.
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of it.
I'm actually not too bad. I do enjoy I try to get pictures in very interesting angles.
Dad,
I don't know. I enjoy it.
Let me get behind you.
Oh, we gotta do
I
it.
have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need it. Great shot, Dawn!
What a shot. Literally. With the camera, too.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
I gotta control him.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
So Dawn is her mother. It's our mother. That's messed up, dude.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Got 1, 2, 3. I think the other ones just fall into place. We have 4. Okay. Quick glance around the room. This is it. This was the room that we passed up, remember? When we were a cat. Okay, moving on. Another secret passageway.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
This is where the VOD got muted before, for sure.
I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Oh! Well, that's cute. So moving keeps the music going. I approve. Let's get all these.
Hand over, Gregory. It's time to.
Mom!
Hold on, sweetie.
Thanks. Alright,
Hello?
continue.
Sam, I told you I don't want to talk.
This one is, yeah. This one's very sad.
I wonder what he saw.
I gotta get all the ducks.
What his world was like.
My depth perception is not great on this part.
So much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
Oh, I could do a
Whatever it
double
was
jump.
he saw,
Oh. Oh. Well, that's useful.
it sure made him happy.
Oh, I gotta get up there. Okay, let's try it again.
I know how silly it sounds. But I worried about a baby being too happy. I could feel her slipping away.
I'm sorry about that, Gregory.
Mom!
I know you did everything you could.
I'm sitting here freezing.
Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
Ah, I'm gonna turn that back on.
I wish
Yes!
he would have told us
Woohoo!
about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too.
I got chills, man. That was a really well executed.
Love, Sam.
It was a great letter. It was a well executed part of the game. Gameplay was cute, but it was bittersweet for sure. So it's easy to figure out what happened there. 1-year-old. All right, moving on. It's not an incredibly happy game, if you haven't figured that out already. What a strange area, huh? Okay. This house is just...
I can't imagine my mom ever
the
writing
next one.
poetry, and yet
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea.
could just play forever with no sad ending.
Our father never hit us kids.
Okay.
At least not very hard.
Time to fly a
The
kite.
day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
Harsh.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that I remember.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, look at this. I found some letters.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Listen, kid. Is he preteen now?
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Down we go. Uh-oh. We got a storm. We got a storm. Where do we go? Oh, right here. Oh, yeah. Destruction!
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
All right, Lily.
It sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, make the music louder.
This. Oh, wait, I can grab everything. Yes.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, sea, and foam.
Oh,
but I
yes.
didn't, until we found you.
Another strange tale. It's like Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. The game.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Hmm. Go. Little chore list. Duties. Oh. More
My
pregnant.
mom moved up to the loft
climbing.
after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Wait, did Mom climb this to get up here? Holy crap. Again. Strange layout. But, you know, rock on, Mom. Climbing stuff.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Yeah. Kind of what it's for, to be honest with you.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Obviously, actual people. India. And create safe places. Out we go.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
Okay, so go down or up? That's a big fall. I believe we go up. Yeah, we can't go that way.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Okay, remember that cool streaming setup? That amazing room? The desktop background?
The house
You were
had
about
to get
to
a
see.
little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
You're gonna see what I was talking about.
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Look at this. Look at this room.
But it
Might be
didn't
better
last.
here. Oh, no. Let me see. How cute! How cute! You ever want to be a teacher? Teach at the top of a treehouse.
When my mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
Ah. You ever want to be a teacher? Teach at the top of a treehouse. 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 Teach at the
beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
I don't think they have a story for that one. He just disappeared. It's definitely a family curse. Oh, we see our shadow. I don't think we ever really see ourselves. We do have one. Okay, we had more than I thought. We had like 5 or 6 left, and we did some already. And then this one here I forgot about. It's very
Milton Finch in
very short.
The magic paintbrush.
Oh, I see. I have to hold it. This. This one's kind of weird too. I don't really get an answer. You guys ever made one of these? Or tried some of these? Fun. I haven't done one since I was a kid. Just gone.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
11, huh? I was never a good artist, so as far as like drawing goes, so I would when I'd make them, I'd make very, very simple ones. Man, I've never looked at the newspapers. They actually really do. You could... I'm sure there's a way to zoom in. They really do put some actual information on there. Okay, how do I go back down?
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Weird that she would seal the doors.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Okay. It's up here.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
Woo! I get kind of oh, look at that. I get kind of nervous because I'm very height sensitive.
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Alright. Go on here and check this out. Inside the boat, at the very tippy top of the house. This is what I'm talking about, baby. Welcome to my humble abode. This is my streaming room, just so you know. I claim this room in the whole house. This is it.
This room smelled very, very familiar. That
Look
part of him lived in.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Oh no, don't go back out. What are you doing? No. Get back in there. That's amazing, man. You get your little fridge, you get your games.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly
giant
bad at them.
TV.
He died a
decent
lot.
size. Got your weed. Got your psychedelic, amazing color vibrancies. You got your...
He was so proud of being Indian.
Love of country.
I think for him, it was a way to be
Pewters.
something other than just a Finch.
I would get rid of this, though. Takes up space. Right? Institute of Psychology.
As Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse.
Okay.
Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Her baby. That's what remains of Edith Finch. That's kind of what wraps this all up. It looks like we have Lewis, I think this is it. This might be the last one. Okay, we're gonna do this.
He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself.
So remember I said I had one that was tied for my favorite? This would be the other one.
I saw the same behavior.
Right thumbstick. Right thumbstick
His
up.
mind began to...
Left, right, up. Over and over. Oh.
Wander.
That's right. I can walk around. That's why I like this part.
Describe it. He
I'll
said
be quiet
he started small. Imagining a labyrinth.
Baby's not even born yet.
He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names.
A Balrog.
He knew it was all in his head.
Nice.
But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
Daydream will start to expand more and more and more.
I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery.
Don't we all?
I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
Expansion!
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first.
You guys think I'm going to chop off my hand eventually? What do you think is going to happen?
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
Creative.
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
Lutropolis would have been nice. See? See how quick I did that? I'm amazing.
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band.
Thank you, Queen. Appreciate the lurk.
And he was always humming something.
Come on, give me a fish.
Every day his imagination grew stronger.
Oh, there's the fish. I never noticed that before.
He no longer spoke at the cannery.
Little details.
But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then
Got
one day
chops,
it struck
man.
him
Got chops.
that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
Mario style.
They begged him to stay,
Out of the
but his
way.
mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
So that's a good question. They probably throw the fish heads away. Could have been some soup, I don't know.
Conquer a city, then immediately push on.
The thing about Mexicans, they don't really, they use everything. They use the bones, they'll use whatever. And waste.
St. Louis.
I approve of St. Louis.
He started drifting away from our reality.
Let's not crash. Let's not crash.
Minneapolis.
It'll make sense here in a bit,
Until
Cop.
one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
In about 3 minutes.
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
It's actually a really good game. It's very short. You can do it in like 2 hours.
In Lewisburg, He heard rumors of a
handsome queen. Hell yeah. Let's go.
handsome queen.
I'm all about them handsome queens. Oh, there she is.
The queen was on her own quest for...
It is. Let's go with radiant rainbows, I guess.
Radiant rainbows.
Because, you know. I don't know. Nice. 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 Yeah, it's sort of a replay. I've done it before. I did this,
Followed the sound of her.
my first year streaming. Electric sitar. Yeah.
Electric sitar.
This game's super easy, dude. It's a walking simulator, essentially. Except for some of this. This is kind of unique.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Uh-oh, I'm getting behind. Can't see what I'm doing anymore. Get out of my way!
But he was so proud of having created it.
There we go. Nice.
In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
Woo! Hey, what's happening? Let's look at our face. Very nice, very nice.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming.
About a minute left, Cop. I guesstimated a little wrong.
But the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
There we go. No more fish. So we're essentially going through, every family member's stories. Long story short, we play Edith. She inherited this house. Everybody's dead. Her grandpa, her great-grandpa, grandma, mother, father, brothers, cousins, everybody's dead. And we are going through each individual story, and it's done in a poetic and unique way to try to make it as lighthearted as possible while still being dark. And everybody's dead. And I think we're on the last one. And it's like a curse. So what remains of Edith Finch is the baby that she's talking about. So this is currently this guy's story. Obviously, he was at work and he was daydreaming, and we're about to find out how he died.
To remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Here we go. That's us. Straight ahead. Thank you, thank you.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Hey. How do you die? Right back at you. Oof. Okay, here we go.
I still thought I could save him.
Story is coming to a close.
Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
It's so bright. It's so bright.
The palace would be packed with his companions.
Hi guys, hi guys. Hey, I know somebody who plays the tuba. Yep.
Including the wise Calico.
They don't like me much over there. What's up, guys? Including the wise Calico who insisted on advising him. Oh, right. Okay.
His queen waited, holding his crown.
would have liked the comic book one, Cop.
There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Yeah, it's a fun little playthrough, Cup. I think you'd enjoy it. It's a good story.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Good moment of existence, Sith Vampiro. Welcome in! Sith Vampiro is from one of the coolest communities of all time. Just take a guess, Cop. Take a guess. Their ideologies, their vibe, their old 80s action flicks, they're just men over there. They're awesome. This is going to be our streaming room. What do you think, Vampiro? What do you think? Check it out. Check it out. Huh? It's awesome. Okay, we're leaving. I think that might be it. Let's see, we have to go. I have to get out of here now.
From Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
Oh no, there's one more.
She wanted to make it easier or harder.
One more. Mother's room.
I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
Packing popcorn is... These things get everywhere, man. Everywhere.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Okay, this is the last one. Not an actual finch. It's origami.
But it had to end one way or another.
Yes, it did.
All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Yes, there's one more story. Pretty amazing for a pregnant lady.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
Grandma Edie, or great-grandma
To our
Edie.
final night together, and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Chinese food that they always order because they can only have one restaurant delivered to them.
But Edie always had plenty of candles.
Now we know where the candles came
When my mom said
from.
the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Ooh. Very cool.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house.
Curse. Can't really see. Oh, there we go.
Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
That's how it ended, huh?
We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
History of the Finches.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
Was this counting as another one? I think it's still part of the same.
The first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years.
That's
God,
wicked.
It smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it.
It'd be cool to have like a DLC where you explore this house.
When the fog rolled in,
it's not gonna happen.
I lost my way.
Hey, going straight. Don't deviate.
I got turned around. For a while, I wandered.
No. No wandering for a while.
I started seeing things.
Is that like the spirit of the deer? Right? You get the big elk that gets shot. You see it in the beginning when you first enter the house. You see it again now.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
Yep.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Pull.
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go!
Got
I
it.
kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
Where did she go?
After that, we moved around a lot.
Gone or like gone? Died? What a sad tale. What a way to end your... I would stay with Grandma, dude.
Rest of it.
What you got left?
A few years went by.
This is cool.
My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't.
It's literally worse.
And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive.
That's gotta be terrifying.
Until I found out about you.
Like at this point, you gotta be freaking out. You're the last one,
I'm
you
still not sure
know.
what to tell you about all this.
Just looking around. Something's gonna kill me.
If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you.
What do we got there? It's like we're being born.
But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you.
Swim forward.
And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, Things didn't work out that way.
Which means we died. She died in childbirth.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
That was Mom's journal. We are now here. The next inheritors of the house. What a wicked tale, huh? In a weird, interesting way. What does a kid feel? So interesting. Anyway, that was the game. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a good one. I will replace the old VOD on YouTube with this one. Just let the credits roll, and then I will... You want to know what's funny, Cop? Is for the VOD on YouTube, there is a chat overlay. So you can see what you just said will be, it's eternalized. I know, you can thank me later. Okay, we're gonna let the credits roll for a second. I'm gonna see if I can... I'm gonna keep the rating as is. The video is gonna go up a point. And that'll change the rating total. Okay, I think we're good. Well, you know. Editing's a thing too. We don't care what people think, right, Cop? We get unfollowed all the time. So, I'd like to continue the credits, but we'll probably just run it over here. You guys can actually see what the rating is. So let's do that real quick. There it is. This is the rating. Pretty simple. I have given all the scores there. Audio, the only reason it's not higher is because it's not like an original, it's not much of an original soundtrack. It is there. It's not incredible, but they did use a lot of other stuff. The audio design's fine, though. I think the video is its strong point. And the story, obviously. Fun, replay. There's a little replayability. You can go back and play through certain stories if you want to get different trophies or specifically pick a different story. Or sometimes, I think the first time I played, I actually missed one of the rooms, so I went back to do it. So not much replayability, though. Mechanics, difficulty ramp, there wasn't really any. Impact, it's a fairly well-known game, so I gave it a 3, middle of the road. Type, overall, 4 out of 5. This is the first game we've ever had that has 3 bonus points. 3 bonus points. And I will tell you why. Let me close this down. So, a grand total of 36. It has 3 bonus points because the innovation in storytelling, right? So, you're able to walk through and look at different journals and get sucked into this story, but it's not just that. It also is the gameplay. So the game design, you could sit here and have the walking simulator, and then you had the thing where it's a cat simulator or an owl simulator. Next thing you know, you're in a comic book horror story using the cane to whip around. It's like first person action. Next thing you know, you're swimming, you know, in the bathtub. The fish thing, right? The little RPG walking around, fantasy dude. There's just so many things. It's very unique. And then the third bonus point would be for, I might take it down to 2, but it's kind of the same thing. No, it's its own thing. When you walk around, the way that they tell the story is they have the subtitles, right, which you don't need to have on. They have show up just in random places and they kind of disappear, kind of like this, right? So anyway, 3 bonus points, which gives a total of 36 out of 52. That is the end. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your moment of existence. We'll go find somebody to raid. Don't be afraid. Don't live your entire life in fear to the point where you can't even come out of the basement, under the basement, in a house. It's just not... What crazy stories, man. Also, if you're hungry, don't eat the red berries and the toothpaste. It's a bad combo. Maybe one or the other, but not both. Also, stay with grandma. Don't leave. Don't leave. That was horrible. I will see you guys next time. I don't know when that is. Probably Monday, maybe Tuesday, maybe in 5 years. I'll be back with Red Dead Redemption 2. So long.